Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I thought I'd have a day of using allies and practicing with allies this time, so I'm going to be posting a few games using my allied faction, France. This is a 1v1 on Timian map, and I'm using France, obviously. My opponent's using Ukraine for this game. I'll just speed up the initial phase where we're capturing oils and stuff. My opponent's gone straight for that one. I do as well, but I keep a rifle guard with him and send the rest up here. I always wonder, maybe I should go for the one closest to the enemy as well and contest that. If they're already there with a strong position, then fall back. If not, you've got them, you know, before they can get to their second oil. So I'll test that out, see what I make of it. But they've got a dog for this one, and now I'm building extra infantry compared to what I used to. I used to make 12 rifles, a base defence, and an engineer. Well, now I usually make roughly 18 rifles, and my base defence, I will have it at certain points, but I'll soon cancel it for production. It's just how I've changed up my build order. It's better to have more mobile rifles than a static defence, you know. That's what I've found. Although the base defence is, you know, this player's got it, and it is, I count as, it is essential, because you need to have some base defence, and if you're allies, the pillbox is very good. But with Soviets, the flame tower's less effective, but it's still, it is good to have a base defence. They've destroyed my oil derrick, but I'm going for theirs. Now, I've kept away from it, because they'll be able to see my engineer look capturing that, and they've seen one rifle there, but I've prepared some forces. He's got away in time, so they're alright. I've put them there to try and interfere with the enemy's expansion. My opponent's building his service depot now. He's got a dog and a flak truck. Right, now I'll see, because this belongs to me, I'll see this. So I decide to pounce, and I know he's over here, and I know he's got a flak truck because of the type of weapon that's attacking my units. So I've caught his forces separate. These guys without rockets, they won't stand a chance because the bullets of their rifles will just bounce off my light tank's armour. So as long as I've got this screening them, they've got rockets now, but I'm keeping him away from the rockets and targeting their flak truck. Now they have no rockets left, this tank's basically invulnerable against rifles. So there we go, I've captured that back and now bring my engineer to retake it. So it's left me at a 2-to-1 advantage. I thought that was an effective engagement, capture, win an initial small engagement, and plus retake the oil and kill the enemy engineer. Yeah, I've got an advantage in army value now, but I should have moved these straight back here to use the view range of the oil derricks, but I was checking for the enemy expansion and ran into this look. Now he took out my light tank straight away, and I've got a slight lead in units, but you see I'm trying to use this advantage here of this oil derrick because it gives you view range advantage, look. But they're not in, these guys here should be here. You see, I'm not using the view range, that was a shame. Now I'm braking and running. Well, it's actually, it's a strategic withdrawal, not running. Withdrawal when the situation dictates it. Because I've got to save that engineer, but I thought, right, I'm in trouble because the enemy are kind of, they've rolled over my small unit group of units there. So I thought, right, well, I best rally some units, prepare for an attack, and I sent these forces, look, just to cause a bit of disruption. It's only a couple of rockets and a tank, with a few rifles, but I thought, you know, a little bit of a distraction won't do any harm. And here we go, I've run into the enemy's home base expansion. Sorry, home base ore patch. And he's noticed it, but I've noticed it and I'm going for the power plant. There we go, I've knocked one out. He's not in low power though, but I've got a force up here on the move. I've caught this area fairly poorly defended, but you see it was only a small group, but I've salvaged a tank and a rifle. Get them out of there, and they can be of use later if he doesn't pursue them. But with taking out this power plant here, I should have taken out this one as well. It would have helped. But I'm going for his expansion here, look. This is what I'm aiming for. Now, my men here were idle for a bit too long. He's got a small force in defence, plus now he's got all he needs. So basically, I'm wasting time there. That's not good. Your allied units need to be mobile and hit and run, because the Soviet units are heavier. So if you allow them time to position, then you're fighting at a disadvantage when you arrive. You can't be idle like that. Look, you see, by the time I act, I've got to fall back because it's just no good. But I do target the power plant here, you know, make something of it. There we go. Yeah, that's alright. At least some of these units. And I thought, he's chasing them now, so why not send these back the way he's come? He won't expect that. And make my way down here. At least take out this and go for a base raid. But he's pushed me back here. I've decided I can't hold that position and can't push. So I've fallen back a bit. Do some micro look. Target, try and pick out his rocket troops. But here we are, making a defence of it. I'll have to look at the combat chart, sorry, but here's that unit of tanks. And I've got this tank guarding to see when he expands, although I'm making use of it, look. And these guys, they double back and they've caught him. That's nicely done, there's an ore truck. But he's pushing here, but I've got the forces to stop him, I think. Yes, I'm using that. You see, that was from a defeated force. Can we get a second? I bet I'm distracted. No, I'm not, look. I'm getting them out of there. Now these guys need taken care of. Yes, that's a force more than enough. 3 heavy tanks is lethal. They'll butcher your ore trucks. So you do need to stop them. And this is what caught me out. There you go, there's the moment, the force that did it. And I think this force was something that sent me packing over here. And then continued onto my base. But I'm here, look. Sadly, I don't know if they were on attack anything stance, because they would have probably destroyed that if they were. And I usually always have them. Usually always. I usually set them in attack anything stance. So it's a mistake for me not to in that case. But there's my engineer, I don't want to lose him. But these guys, for some reason, yeah, they've taken out my war factory. And he sees I'm building defences, but what's going on here? Are they my men? Yeah, fair enough. He's on move command getting shot by technicians, but I'm here defending it. Now he's going to move back to that. But he was indecisive there. I'm on another attack, look. Trying to catch out his forces without him being prepared. And rallying other groups as well, which is what I've done, rally tank groups and things. I'm in low power by the looks of it, not by much, but look here, you see, he was a little indecisive, and this is enough for me now to fight off this force. Caught me out here, look, and I saw it try and get away, too slow. But I've stopped that force. There's the harvester, just happens to move in a perfect screening position, why not? And there we go, look, I've sort of finished that attack, pushed through there. Now my base is, that's it, he's overrun it. I'm falling back here now, look. You see I'm moving my units back. But I've overdone it, overstretched my forces and got beaten down. trying to look, say, so this ore truck move around the edge of the map back to base to drop its ore off. And what I think was a big factor is that when I lost my service depot, I wasn't building. It stopped me building tanks. I could have at least had light tanks churning out like I am now. I was way too late. I've only just... That's the first light tank I've churned out. So from the moment I lost my service depot, I mean my war factory, sorry, even earlier than the service depot. So from the moment I lost my war factory, I've had no vehicles producing until now, and a couple of light tanks is useless at the end when you're surrounded by this and this. So I think that was something I messed up. I needed those light tanks would have helped. They would have helped slow the enemy. So yeah, as soon as I lost that war factory, I was no longer producing vehicles. Yeah, it was a big mistake. Because that's the decent thing about allies. When you're getting beaten and you lose your service depot or your war factory, as soon as you get a war factory, you can build light tanks. Now, the Soviets can build APCs, but they're not the same. They don't have an armor-piercing weapon like the light tanks. And they're not great. Light tank cannons are very weak. But in groups, it's better than nothing. And their armor's immune to machine guns, pretty much, anyway. But there's that game. I'll just go through the basic stats and stuff. This was like when I started today and thought I'd use allies and practice with the allies for the day. This was like my second game, I think. So there's the army graph. I did peak at one point above my opponent. So I could have, I'll look out and try and learn to spot those moments and to try and take advantage of them. Because I'm really lacking a lot of my tools. There's the earnings graph. I haven't got my Gren drops. When the enemy gets tech, I can't build my flat trucks for a cheap counter. If I want to counter enemy aircraft and stuff, I need the radar dome. There's a combat tab. That's a beating. It's just that much harder for me for using allies, and while I'm doing it, I'm not practicing with Russia either. So, you know, practicing allies is, you know, it's a commitment for me. There's the economy tab. Yeah, earnings were okay. There's basics, but yeah, I find it a lot harder. I do believe allies are better. I just find it harder to use them to their full potential, and I think they're meant to be. That's how I see it. The Soviets are easy and brute force. The allies are more specialist, more advanced, harder to use to their full potential. But there's the first game for you, and I'll add on a second post with for my allies. This is like a couple of games later, and it's a 1v1 on Kosovo map, this one. I'll get rid of the shroud for you. Let's increase the speed a little bit. My opponent's left a rifle here and he's gone for the main contestable oil derrick, so I've captured mine. He's capturing the contestable one, although he hasn't got it yet. But I'm moving here, look, taking what could have been his first oil derrick. Now he's captured one. We've got one each. But he won't, because he didn't capture that, he won't see what I've got here, he won't know. So he's going to be in for a nasty surprise, but I think he does manage to snipe my engineer. Look at that position, I wouldn't be surprised, because look at that, he sniped it straight away. Will he save his own? Yeah. So I've got two oil derricks, he's got one. I'm on the war factory. My opponent is a few seconds behind, not by much. But I'm leaving a rifle guard here, just in case I see a shady engineer and I actually spot it. Now I've got my scout vehicle. My opponent's building his first vehicle. What's he? Oh no, that was his ore truck, sorry. Take out those barrels. Don't want any explosions later on, but he's retaking this. He's not retaking it, he's taking it. He's cleared my rifle guard. But he's cleared that out, and he knows I'm here. So what's he going to do? He should use his engineer now and use these now. That's it. He's got his engineer on the capture. So we're on 2-1 at the moment. Where's his engine? Yeah, it's still going. Now we're on 3-0 to me. And he's starting to retake the oil derrick over there. Starting to take it from me. So we're at 3-0 to me, but any moment it'll be back to 2-1 again. We're swapping around these oil derricks, but here we go. Seems to have some engagement. I've sent my engineer off to the far corner. But my opponent thought better of that. He's wise not to pile in there. Maybe he'll move north to this one here, possibly. But I've sent my engineer and a couple of rifles, and I'm thinking that this hasn't been taken by the enemy yet. I was just betting on that because of the situation and what I'd seen, and with him retaking this one, I thought, yeah, I've got a decent chance of that being unoccupied. So have a look at the early army values. 8-7. Oh, we lost a medic. 9-7 now. And we are 1 each in oil derricks. Because he's just destroyed one. Now we're back to 2-1 again because I've just captured the corner one. So it's a lively oil game, oil capture phase anyway. We've both gone for the forward expansion, a central expansion, strangely, and I hardly ever go for this one. I usually go for one of the main expansions, one of the larger ones, and then move my home base Conyard out a bit just to get build radius over here. So I usually do that second, this ore patch. My opponent, what's he building? He'll probably put a barracks here if he's... No, he's not. We've got an engagement. He's run into my pillbox without any rockets backing him up. He's got some, but they just weren't close enough, so he's getting... Troops are getting riddled full of bullets. 16-12 in army value. He's only got a couple of tanks, tank and a half up front. But I haven't got many up front, but they're on the way. I've got 5 and a light tank. But I'm moving my MCV forward, look. Very careless. Very careless. And he spots it. But luckily there's one rocket there, so I can leg it. Now a whole stream of rockets. Look at its health. Saved by a loyal rocket soldier throwing himself in harm's way for his commander. That was lucky. Look, he's hardly got any health left at all. And I knew my opponent would spot me here, because obviously it's his oil derrick. So he can see me here, look. And I thought, right, well that means he's going to attack over here, surely. If he knows my army has just moved literally from there to there, then that's going to send him this way, surely. So I've got my production here. And I can rally a few forces, look. But I knew I was expecting it, so I'll move those ore trucks straight out of the way, look. And then these guys should move in any moment. But I was expecting that completely. But here we've got a fairly substantial engagement. And I thought, don't move into this blender. I was thinking to myself, my enemy shouldn't be doing this. He doesn't want to move into that because it's just a slaughter zone. It's a killing zone. But he did move into it. And there we go, that turned it. He's got half the army value I have now. Less, in fact, at this point, because I'm still producing. And I've just knocked out an expansion. I've got reinforcements on the way, no problems. But look at that, 4 rocket troops waiting for a tank stream. That is excellent. That was a very lucky tank that he didn't get wrecked. But I knew I could move straight on, cut through the home base, and target some essential structures. And I'm clearing out here, trying to learn to do multiple attacks and learn to do them effectively. I'm running out of tanks here. I've got one and a very damaged one and half a light tank's worth of health, you know, a light tank with half its health. So I'm very low on screening units, and when you've got no screening units and your infantry are in a base, it's very bad. So I'm not being as aggressive and moving forward as much. You see, I'm fighting in a formation here now. Not using them for screening so much, using the tanks for view range, because that's essential. At least my men can fire back. I'm not screening them, but at least they can fire back. If I screen them, that tank might be killed, and then they're blind. So what I was doing is I need reinforcements, look. I need to get those tanks with these troops as quickly as possible. You see, there's the light tank. He screened my men and died, but best thing to do is just leave him for the better view range, leave him still in formation and let some tanks arrive. The enemy engineer was very unlucky. He shouldn't stand in the middle of the road anyway. But now I've got tanks to screen my men. I've got an eco raid here because I know I've knocked out the enemy eco here, and I know I've secured this one by expanding to it, look. So that's why I chose to hit him on this side. It's just using the basics of allies. No tech in this game as much. It wasn't needed. So, you know, that's just learning the basics, this one. Try and stop his reinforcements and hit him here, because I know I've got enough force to destroy this. What is he? I know he's not going to have anything there. So this army here, where he did focus his reserves, can still deal with them. Medic's still working. And look, this pillbox, look how lethal they are. Just cut through your infantry. It's probably worthwhile pressing the scatter command when you're charging pillboxes. If you've got expensive 3 rifles or 2 rifles to 1 rocket infantry groups, you've got an expensive infantry group, it's probably best worth scattering them when you get in heavy pillbox fire. But there's the end of that game. We've got, there's the army graph, look. Look at the earnings graph. Yeah, it looks pretty close. Ups and downs. Finishing army is, yeah, that's a decent finishing army. Combat chart. Yeah. Yeah, that's a decent scrap. No support powers, as I said. Production still on. Economy tab, 86 to 72. So yeah, we're close in economy. I had 9 harvesters, 9 ore trucks at the end, and I did manage to hang on to 2 oil derricks. My original starting oil derrick, which I took first. That was the first one I took, and it's still in action. So if you do hold on to one oil derrick, hold on to the one that's been producing the longest, and keep it ticking over throughout the whole game if you can, or as long or as much of the game as you can. But yeah, there's the basic stats and charts and graphs. I hope everyone enjoyed those 2 games. I'll call this post here, and until next time, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these games while I struggle to learn allies, getting battered from one end of the map to the other. But I'm going to keep at it for the day, so there'll be some more posts. And until next time, viewers, take good care of yourself all, and goodbye for now.
Battle control terminated.